Hi guys, welcome back to Kat's Kitchen, and I just want to start off by thanking you guys so much for watching the videos so far and liking them and commenting on them. And I just want to encourage you to please like, share, and subscribe, and definitely leave comments below of what kind of videos you guys would like to see next. What kind of, different, maybe do you want me to work with a different ingredient or make a certain recipe? Definitely, maybe put that in the comments below and we can try to work that out. But today is going to be another weeknight meal, and it's fairly fast. There's not a lot of elements in it. We're actually going to be making some beef tacos tonight with round steak. Now, the only thing that takes a little bit long is the cooking process. You can do that two different ways. If you work from home, you can keep it in the oven and keep an eye on it. But if you don't, then you can actually sear this off and put it in your crock pot, like you've seen me do probably a few other times on some other videos. But I'm just going to take you through this real fast just to kind of inspire you guys and give you something to maybe look forward to during the week when work is busy, school, etc., and kids. So here we go. I'm going to start off with cleaning our round steak. So sometimes whenever what we do is we'll get a half a cow at a time, and you usually end up with a lot of larger steaks, and just trying to come up with different recipes in order to make it a little bit different can be challenging at times. So that's kind of what we're doing with this round steak. You've seen me before make a roast dinner or stews and soups out of them before, but today we're going to be making our tacos out of our round steak. So here we go. All right guys, we're going to start this off like any other roast or steak that we work with. We've rinsed our round steak here. I have it sitting on paper towels on my cutting board, and then I'm going to take more paper towels on top and we're going to pat this dry. Back here in my skillet I have avocado oil heating up. You're going to hear my fan on as well, my exhaust. I also have the skillet that can go into the oven because I'm going to be finishing this off in our oven. So we're just going to pat this dry. We're getting our pan nice and hot over there. We want a really good mild reaction from the meat. And then we're going to season this up. So we're going to start off with, I like to use a little bit of mustard. If you've been around a little bit, you know that I like to use mustard on my beef. It gives incredible flavor. And we're going to do some salt, pepper, garlic powder, garlic salt. I apologize, not garlic salt. Salt and pepper, garlic powder, and real garlic. And then we're going to add some onion. And then I have some onion soup mix as well. If you have some onion powder, that'd be great too. Instead of doing traditional salt, I'm actually going to do seasoned salt on this one. And then once we pop these seasonings on, we're going to sear this baby off. Let it cook for probably about, a good 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And then we're going to get it rolling. up that heat now because our temperature's dropping because we put the meat in the pan. I have our oven preheated to 350. So once we get a nice sear on this side, we're gonna flip it for another 3 to 4 minutes. And then we're just gonna finish adding in some Worcestershire sauce and some garlic and some onion soup mix. And I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of water in there. And then I'm just gonna let it braise. And we're gonna let it braise the rest of the way in the oven. And it's gonna be in the oven for, honestly, as long as you can. If you can do about 3 hours, I might even end up keeping the heat back. But you've got to cook this nice and slow and low. That way you get all the flavor out of it and it's nice and tender. Like I said, if you're doing this in your crock pot, just try to put it on low for 8 to 10 hours. Alright guys, we're getting some amazing flavors coming off of this. You're going to start to see the blood come off the top. That moisture is going to start evaporating. We're going to add now our garlic right on top of the steak. Pretty big steak, so generous. Worcestershire sauce. If you have a little soy sauce, you can do a little dab of that too. Onion soup mix packet. Alright, you're going to kill your fire. You're going to add some water to this. As it is. Like I said, we're on 350. And that's just going to cook nice, low and slow for, like I said, I'll be checking it probably every hour. But what I want is whenever I put a fork in it and be able to twist, I want it to be able to just fall right apart. There is one bone in there. However, you can't use it too much of a guide. Usually how you can do is if you have a piece of meat with a bone in it, as long as you can slip that bone out completely without cutting or anything or any struggle, then you know you're nice and tender. However, I've had experience with these round steaks before, and sometimes the way that bone is, it can be a little deceiving, just the way it is with the meat. The meat will sometimes pull away from the bone will slip out, you think the meat's tender, but then when you go to do the fork test, it still needs more time. So just keep that in mind, and then you'll guys will just have to test what you're cooking and your temperatures and your meats on your side too. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this is a pretty big round steak. That's why I think it's probably going to take anywhere between, I'd say, at least 2.5 to 3 hours on 350. But I'll report back to you and let you know how long it took. In the meantime, what I'm going to be doing is slicing up some onions. I'm going to see, I might be pickling some onions for our tacos. But the only other thing that's pretty easy is I just have some rice I'm going to be cooking. And then I have some cabbage and carrots I'm going to shred for topping the tacos. And then I just have some taco shells as well. So really the star of this is the round steak and just making sure it's extremely tender so we can just kind of pull it apart with some forks and then we'll be dynamite. So I want to thank you guys for watching so far. Please watch till the end to see the rest of the recipe and I'll see you on the next video clip. All right, guys, so we are going to pickle some onions. So what we'll need here is 1 cup of water. And then I'm going to add to this 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Really easy to make, guys. And then we're going to take, you can either do this with honey or sugar. I'm just going to use honey today. And I'm going to put about a tablespoon of honey in. If you have some peppercorn, you can put some peppercorn in. I don't, but I am going to give it some pepper. A couple teaspoons of pepper. And a couple teaspoons of salt. This is called making your brine. And we're going to whisk this up. So everything gets dissolved, emulsified. I already chopped up about a medium white onion. You can use red or white onion for this. If you do use red onion, you come out with a really pretty color, a pretty pink color. I'm just going to taste this brine, see how it's doing. Very good. It has a little bit of a bite to it. What I'm going to do is actually add about 1/8 of a cup more water. That apple cider vinegar is definitely strong, but it's good. It's good stuff. I have my kettle heating up on the stove right now. You'll probably hear that. We are just going to put our onions in a bowl. Black glass bowl here for them. Slice these very thin. And just take out the root. Once our hot water is ready, I'm just going to submerge them for just a few minutes, and then we're going to drain them. And then you're going to need either a quart or a pint-sized jar, whichever one you want to use. And then we'll put the onions in our quart, along with pour our brine over top of it. And then we'll just let it cool down completely, because they'll be hot after these are in the boiling water. And then once they've cooled completely, we'll put these in our fridge, and they'll be good for up to 2 weeks. So now we're just going to submerge our onions. And we'll just break them up a little bit with the tongs. And we're just going to let these soften up for just a few minutes. Next, we're going to do, while our onions are steeping right now in the boiling waters, we're going to tackle our red onion and just prepare our veggies. So I'm just taking off a few outer leaves. Whenever you get in cabbage, you want to take off the few outer leaves until you get down to that deep purple. You'll see here. You want to get down to this one here. You can also pickle red cabbage if you like. That would be really, really good on your tacos just today. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to take out the core. So just get it stabilized. And then I just cut all the way around the core. come in here, make your round cut, cut this in half, and then you can finish coming in here and just cutting out your core, like so. Perfect. And then same with this guy. There are a lot of nutrients in red cabbage. Really, there's a lot. And then what we're just going to do is flip this over and just finely slice this, ever so finely. All right, guys, what I decided is we're actually going to pickle our red cabbage along with some carrots as well. So I've got our cabbage in here. This is about 1/4 of a cabbage. And then I'm just going to shave our carrots right in here. Figure why let all the onions have all the fun, right? So I'm not even worrying about peeling these carrots. We're just going to shave them right in. So I was going to put these down anyway, and I'm like, you know what, why not do the hot water on these, and then we'll pickle these too. All right, guys, so I have about 2 smaller carrots in here with 1/4 of our red cabbage. I'm just going to add in our hot water now and do the same thing with our onions. Just going to let these sit for a few minutes in this hot water, then we'll drain it, and then we'll put it all in that quart jar all together with our brine. And I am going to adjust the brine a little bit. I'm going to give it a taste here, but I think I'm going to add in a little bit more honey to it because I want a little bit of a sweet and sour situation going on with these guys, and not so much sour from our apple cider. So I just want to show you guys real fast. You'll know that your cabbage is done whenever you just take your fingernail and you can just still break it apart. It's almost like an al dente pasta, or it's a little bit soft, but it's not as crunchy as it was, because that's really not that appealing. All right, we're going to go drain this, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, so here we have our jar, quart jar, with our little funnel. I'm just going to use our tongs because obviously our veggies are hot. And we're just going to load them up here in our quart size jar. And I am going to give these a little bit of a mix too, just so it's incorporated. All the cabbage, carrot, and onion all together. So once we've put some brine in there, we need to make some room. So I'm just going to use my little debubbler, and I'm going to go around the edges. I'm not doing this for the typical canning reasons. I'm doing this so that our brine will go down into all of the veg, and that way we can add some more brine. That'll make room up top for us. You can see the liquid has significantly gone down. It was all the way up to here before, and it's down here. And that's what we want. We want to add in as much of this brine as possible, because this is where the flavor is going to pull from. So I'm just going to keep going and doing this until we can squeeze as much brine in as possible. Like I said, we don't have to worry about headspace on that. Headspace, if you're not familiar, is where the liquid and the veg would stop. Normally you have to give a 1-inch headspace when you can, and that's to this bottom lip here. However, we're putting this right in the refrigerator. So we just have one of these reusable lids. I'm just going to put one of these on, perfect for what we're doing. And we're just going to store these. I'll let this cool down to room temperature, and then we'll put it in our refrigerator and just let it soak up all this beautiful brine. And then we'll put it on the trio mix on our tacos. Look how pretty it looks already. Really nicely. You can get these lids at Walmart or online. It's really nice for storage. So yeah. Hey guys, so it's been about an hour since we put our round roast in the oven. So what I did is I just turned it over so that it would just to basically, that is my basting process, so that both sides can get enough moisture in that braising liquid. So I just flipped it over with a big fork and closed it up, and it's still going. So we'll see you guys soon whenever we're all plating it up. All I have to do now really is cut some limes, cut a tomato, and then shred some cheese. Cheese of your choice. I have pepper jack today. That's what we like. So yeah, and that's really about it. We'll just wait for that meat to be done, and then I'll pop some rice on whenever we're about 20 minutes out from eating, and we'll have a little feast here on a Friday night. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you at the ending here whenever we're plating up. All right, guys, so here's our finished product with our beef. Once you know it's really good, it's just gonna pull right apart. We melted our cheese on there, our pepper jack. I have our nice fresh tomatoes with our pickled carrots, red cabbage, and onions. And then we just have some chicken rice on the side. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.